So, Del Toro makes a lot of films.
He does.
Last one I think I saw was probably, I watched half of Crimson Peak. It wasn't good.
Which I haven't seen on the basis that people said it wasn't
It's
good.
so good. I started watching it because it looked a bit Tim Burton-y, and I don't like Tim Burton.
We did talk about
Yeah,
that.
I don't love
The
Tim
fact that
Burton,
you
but
don't.
I like the style of Tim Burton a lot, so I was like, this could be...
Aesthetics.
Yeah, I was like, this could be fun. And it wasn't. It was bad. He made Pacific Rim,
Yes.
and he made, obviously, Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy.
Have you seen The
Probably two
Orphanage? That
favourites.
was a good one.
No, I've never seen that.
I think it was Del Toro. I could be completely wrong.
I hope it's not.
I really...
The Orphanage.
It totally fucking wasn't. Of course it
What's it? Who was it?
was. Juan.
Juan. Famous director Juan Antonio Bayona. Juan Antonio
I got that
Bayona.
wrong.
What's
I'm
he got
so
on tomatoes?
bummed.
What's he got on tomatoes? It's at the
hang
top
on.
there.
Sorry.
87, that's not
It was a
bad.
really good film.
You should check that out at some point.
It's really, I've got it.
Anyway,
You can
Shape
borrow
of Water.
You'll never know just how much I miss you.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
was-
I liked it a lot. I think it's not something I'll go and see again soon.
No, I don't. I wouldn't. Even if it, for whatever reason, like came out tomorrow on like DVD or on like Now TV or something, I wouldn't want to watch it again. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not like It's not like Get Out.
No,
Where I watched it
yeah.
and then like made my boyfriend watch it the night after,
Oh, you gotta see
and then
this.
made my housemate. Like it's not like that kind of
Yeah.
a film, but it is a very nice film.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what took me by surprise a bit, is how nice it
yeah,
is.
I was expecting something to go wrong, and it kind
Yeah.
of doesn't.
No, it's kind of... I heard a lot of people say it's like a fairy tale. And it kind of is. Kind of like a modern dark... Well, not modern, but
Yeah.
like more modern, I guess.
Yeah,
Dark fairy tale.
yeah, I really like that, and I like that with the fairy tale element of it, that they actually had sex, because
Yeah.
that's like a very modern thing, like of being, you know, they describe her as a princess at the beginning of the film,
Yeah.
but she's a sexual being, and that's really interesting, and that's really nice,
Yeah.
because that's so denied to all.
Yeah, and
fairy
it goes
tale
back to the
characters.
two scenes where she, like, masturbates.
Yeah,
Because,
beginning of
like,
the film.
it's pretty raw.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like,
I don't think I've ever
she's
seen.
just a cash girl.
She just having some
She's a
time.
cash gal.
She sets a timer.
She does.
She's got real good at it.
She is good at it.
She's got it down.
I don't know, I thought, like you said, it was kind of like a fairy tale, but like completely modernised in terms of the roles they play as well.
Yeah.
I feel like you are seeing more of a twist on it where it's a female saving a human male. Or no, he is a male.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's
definitely.
Pretty well
there
assumed.
is, yeah, there is a well-established fact later on that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the story was very lighthearted, funny. It was very funny as a film.
Yeah.
There were a lot of bits where I was laughing, and I was kind of surprised. I don't know why.
That's not a very Del Toro thing in my head.
It felt a bit comedy.
I was just thinking that apart from like what's that movie with Aubrey Plaza?
Oh no, which one?
I don't,
That's a
to be
genuine
fair,
question.
I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't give you much info.
No.
I can't remember, but there's a film where Aubrey Plaza masturbates.
Wasn't that just like a sex tape?
I don't think so.
There was a sex tape with her like masturbating.
Well, that sounds great.
Like it was leaked. It's like she didn't
Maybe
like...
that was it. Maybe I just thought it was a film.
It's a great movie I saw
It's
the other
like, this is
day.
great. But apart from like, I actually can't think of if the Aubrey Plaza thing is a sex tape, which it may well be.
It is.
Um,
I can't think of a film where she's
But she
masturbating.
like directly looks at the camera. I mean, she could do that in porn. That is a thing that
Yeah.
happens in porn. But not in a sort of like as herself way. I'm gonna fucking find this anyway. Apart from the potential sex tape of Aubrey
Yeah.
Plaza, I can't think of another film where I've seen a woman actually even
Casually masturbating.
Yeah,
And it's not like sensualized or anything. It is
No.
literally just like something she is doing.
yeah, and it's
I don't think they've done that really with men either that I can think of.
No,
Not like
and-
casually. It's always, if it's a man, it's a joke, and if it's a woman, it's sensual.
yes, and it wasn't either of those things.
No,
And it was very much
just kind of a thing.
And I liked that she was naked in it because, like,
Mhm.
there's this thing of like, you know, like when sex is filmed in films, people are, like under the covers or. And do you know what really bugs me? To go off on a tangent again, is when people give head in films,
Yeah.
they do it under the fucking covers. Is that wouldn't get really hot and you'd be like, I have to get out of here.
I want to see someone give head on the covers in a film with glasses and then just have steamed up glass.
That would be so funny.
That would be pretty
Do
great.
you think we should maybe start producing porn covers of films?
Porn covers, not parodies, covers.
Yeah,
That's like a really
straight
classy
covers.
way to say parody.
Yeah.
No,
we
we
do-
don't do porn parodies. We do
do
porn
covers.
covers. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
we're a classy actor. No, so you were saying about the Hunchback of Notre Dame and
Yeah.
about like who is a monster, who's a man.
Yeah.
And I think not to spoil the film, 'cause we're going to do spoilers later.
Mhm.
But I think like in making a statement about the idea of a monster, it was very clear about who you should dislike.
Yeah.
And that was kind of nice because I didn't expect it to be. I expected it to be like a more complex morality, but
Yeah.
I'm almost glad it wasn't.
I
Like
think
it's clear.
again, it's hard to talk about without spoiling. I think Michael Shannon's character. This comes a bit from the fact that before going into this, I watched a few reviews a while ago when it came out in America, and a lot of people said they liked Michael Shannon's character because he felt like a real person and not a villain, and in a way you were
Yes.
rooting for him. I didn't get that.
I wasn't rooting for him. I can understand feeling he was real.
I felt like for a lot of the beginning of the film, his character felt like they were setting something up for him. And for me, it felt like we just kind of saw a bunch of stuff in his life and it didn't really mean anything to me.
No.
Like, I feel like it was meant to set something up maybe with like him being relatable, like the fact he has a
Yeah.
family and stuff. It sounds like
Yeah.
he says something about like maybe this kind of thing he's doing being like his last job, I think he said, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
there's
that
like
I
an
think
implication.
he's essentially going to retire by the sound of it.
Which, if you were, why would you?
But then I feel like the point is that if he doesn't do it right, then he won't be able to.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I got from it.
Yeah, I sort of felt like the stuff with his family was a little bit wasted
Redundant.
screen time.
Yeah, it felt redundant to me. I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, why is this?
And like even the bits where it's set up again, not to spoil it, but like the scene where he's sleeping with his wife.
Yeah.
And that sort
That
of
was to
sets
set up one scene, but that scene didn't really
No, it
mean anything.
didn't really do anything, and
It was
and
just
also,
kind of made it more villainous.
And also, I think it would have been more shocking for the scene later on
Yeah.
if it was to be completely random,
Yeah.
and then we would be taken to
And you didn't
surprise.
really ever need that scene. Thinking about it, go if you
No, it
took
didn't
that
do
scene out of the
anything.
film and the family scene out of the film,
Yeah.
and then carried on the rest of the film, I don't think it would be any different. I think it was
No.
just kind of like a way of making him a bit more evil, but then I don't think
Yeah.
you needed that.
No, he was like very much evil enough.
Yeah.
And with that being as it was, I think that it's so hard to talk about it without being like with the thing that happened. But no, with that like series of scenes being as it was, I think he could have been far more clever with it in terms of like him manipulating her to a position where there's a more complex storyline, which I don't think necessarily I would have liked or wanted.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But in terms of using those scenes more effectively.
I did like how at the beginning it felt like we had a bunch of different character stories happening. We had Sally Hawkins' character, who I feel I don't know if it's a detriment to the film. I can't remember the characters' names, or if it's like
Eliza.
Is it Eliza?
I think so.
I think you're right. It's Eliza.
Or like a name beginning with F, but I'm like I don't know whether I'm associating that because my name.
It's Eliza and Octavia Spencer played a character.
I can't remember Octavia Spencer's name. Zelda.
Zelda, that was it. Because I
Zelda.
remember it being like weird. It was like, oh, Zelda, okay.
Yeah, but then he kept calling her like by her middle name, and that was of no consequence either.
Yeah, no, that was weird.
She was still like that's my name. That's like a name I
Sure.
have. Like that's fine.
Okay.
You'll never know just how much I care.
It definitely from the beginning. I really like stories where you have lots of different players, sort of thing. And like at the beginning of this, you have Sally Hawkins, Eliza, with Octavia Spencer. Obviously, their kind of story merges. And then you have Michael Shannon with his own separate story, which is the point that I kind of respect them kind of going to him every now and then
Yeah.
to show like what's happening with him.
Yes.
And then you have obviously Bob, the Dr. Bob.
Dr.
Didn't
Bob.
think about his name was Dr. Bob until just then.
Hey,
Dr.
I'm really
Bob.
glad he didn't be like, hello, I'm Dr. Bob. They'd be like,
I laugh. Is there anyone else? Oh, and her neighbour.
Yes,
Like they
yeah.
kind of all have their own separate story going on, and I like the fact that they all kind of merge near the middle, and then from then on, it's kind of just like the one story. I really
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
That's kind of nice, and it shows that people's lives are interlinked, and you don't need to be going off on like completely separate.
It develops all the characters as well.
Yeah,
Like, it develops them all really well.
I did think the narrative was very clear.
Yeah.
And that is something you can't fault. Like,
Yeah.
it literally did follow like a 3-act structure.
Yeah, definitely.
But in not in a boring way. Like,
No,
at all.
definitely not. I thought all the characters were really great. The one thing I think the film, I don't know. One thing I feel the film doesn't do great is the monster. It never has a name.
No.
And it never has a personality.
No, and it doesn't even seem to really react to her
No.
too much.
Which gets me thinking, it's kind of a creepy story. Because it's all about this woman falling in love with this fish dude. Okay. Oh, he doesn't have a
With
name.
this
That
fish
kind of
guy.
annoys me. They never gave him a name.
But yeah, I think she should have given him a name.
But then how would she?
Sign language is a
I
language,
know,
Alex.
but like, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's
but-
just, I don't know. I feel like
But surely I like with going off of that, like if we were in that situation and like one of us like was mute, stop
I
laughing
found
at
a
it.
fish person.
if one
One
of
of
us
us found a fish.
if we were like down by that bit of water by the park and we found a fish no, if one of us like for whatever reason couldn't speak,
Yeah.
we could communicate in sign language, would you together like as because they're meant to be friends in it, right?
Yeah.
Would you not need a reference point? You could just be like, the fish guy is in the bath, because they just sort of call him.
That's what I'm saying.
And
It's
pretty
kind
jarring.
of weird. And it's annoying that I can't come out of the film and be like, oh, I really liked
The fish guy.
Nemo.
No, but I think you're right.
That kind of annoyed me. And I feel like
Yeah.
because of that, he didn't have a character. And he's kind of, in a weird way, maybe this is a good thing,
Yeah.
but he like we said earlier, the role reversal, where she's the kind of usual male hero and he's kind of like the princess character.
Yeah.
But I feel because of that, he gets treated like that and doesn't have character development.
they
And,
sort
it's
of-
kind of like, oh,
It's so interesting because they've done so much to show that like she is literally silenced, but
Yeah.
yet she still has a voice. But he is too, and has no power.
No.
Like literally none. And it's like if you're trying to, I don't know whether this is the case and whether it's as conscious as this, but if you're trying to reverse roles for the sake of like making a more equal story, don't just give the fucking male character less power. That's not being equal either. That's so bad.
I also feel like, and it's weird, it comes to the thing of like, did you ever see Chappie?
Yes, I love Chappie.
You love Chappie.
Deantwood. Why
Okay.
didn't you like Chappie?
Chappie to me, okay,
He was so cute.
I was really excited for Chappie because I watched the trailer and I saw it was a little robot Chappie played by Shelton Copley, who I adore. Like, he watches He-Man,
Yeah.
and I was like,
He
oh,
lives
it's
with
like when
Deantwood.
Iron Man, like. You're
Yeah.
watching this impressionable child be used by these like horrible people to do shit. Don't enjoy watching
But
that.
isn't that clever though?
No.
That he's
Let's not get into
Thank
Chappie
you-
talk.
thank you for,
Let's
like,
not get into Chappie
shutting
talk.
me
I
down.
don't want to get into Chappie talk.
real quick.
Oh no.
I promise real quick. Isn't that interesting then that they made you fucking counting down?
It's counting up. Isn't it interesting that?
They made a robot make you feel like he was an impressionable child.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I support that bit of it. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy watching a child doing horrible stuff.
Oh, that's fine.
That's what I didn't like
thought-
about the
I thought
film.
you meant you just
But I
thought
didn't
it
feel like there was a
bit-
point to it. It felt like it wasn't like the film was like, oh, this is bad. It was like, oh, this is cool. And I was like, I don't agree.
Yeah, you're like,
And that's
saying,
kind
"Fuck
of
mother."
that's kind of how I felt about this a bit. Shape of Water. I feel
About
like
her being an impressionable child. Or
no, him. By the end of the film, he clearly has like an actual understanding of English language and shit, like in terms of sign language,
He's responding.
right? But there's no scene where the two of them sit down and have a conversation.
No.
That bothers me.
And-
Because therefore,
yeah.
does he know what the fuck is happening? He clearly wants to be together with her.
Yeah.
But like, the same thing, I'm not being funny, but if a child's been like moulded a certain way by
Yeah.
like an adult, they like will think they want stuff they don't.
Dude.
Shit like that. And that's a weird thing to get
I-
into,
no,
but
I
that's
hadn't-
how I feel like
I
kind of
hadn't
about it.
thought of that.
He's super
and
impressionable.
he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And she I don't think she's intentionally.
No,
manipulative.
it's definitely not like an evil thing. It's just kind of a sad situation. I feel like, because I feel like she's lonely, and she sees. She even says like, "Oh, he doesn't see me as incomplete," and all this stuff.
Yeah, which is very sweet.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I couldn't get 100% behind the love story of it purely because of that. Because he didn't feel like a character.
He also, I don't know whether this was just me. Like, if you disagree, please tell me. But I didn't like the way that he was made as a character. Because
like his actual costume.
Yeah, like the physicality of him, because like it clearly was a costume, because there were bits where he walked and was physically next to her. But the face was very CGI, but almost like incompatibly so with
his eyes
his
were
body.
Put me off a bit.
Yeah. And I also wouldn't have minded as much if he'd been all CGI or all costume. Like,
yeah, but mixing the two together throws you off a bit.
Yeah,
I see what you mean.
Because isn't it a very Del Toro thing to do everything with costume, to not need? Like,
yeah,
we know he's got a team that are good enough to do it.
I thought it was going to end up being like Abe Sapien from Hellboy, because they're very similar. But yeah, I think it was the eyes that kind of threw me off the costume. I'll agree with that. I think it never. I personally was never hit by it to the point where I was like, don't like that. Like,
no.
I was just kind of like, I don't know. It never bothered me fully, but like looking back on it, I can kind of see what you mean. It is a bit of a weird, like, collaboration, I guess. Put the two together, but not greatly.
I mean, I think you're always going to get that, because they're trying to make him look human, right? And he's meant to be a monster, which by the way, we have such a fucking obsession with as people. We're like, it's a monster, but it's got legs and arms, exactly as we do.
It's like a creature we already have, but also human.
Yeah, it's like one that we have.
It's the closest thing we can do to bestiality without it being super weird.
Yeah, we're like, it's fine. He's sexless, except for when.
Except for when he isn't.
Yeah, and that's fine. But no, I wasn't a great lover of that. Like, it was fine. But I agree with you that I didn't really feel any emotion towards it. And again, not to spoil the film, but with what happens at the end, I felt no sympathy for him.
No. I do want to talk about the ending properly at the end, because there was some bits that I wasn't super impacted by any of it or anything like that.
No. I think Sally Hawkins was amazing, and that's what
she was fantastic. I still don't know what I've seen her in.
Submarine, dude.
She's Submarine?
She's the mum. I said that to you on the way home.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Tilda Swinton.
No.
Oh, you confused me.
I'm sorry, you confused me.
That's why I got confused when you said she was the mum in Submarine. I was like, was she? I don't remember Tilda Swinton in that.
You just said yes.
I liked him. I really liked his story and him.
Sweet.
I love that actor. He is in so much stuff. The main things he's been in, he's in a ton of Coen Brothers stuff.
Oh.
He was in A Serious Man. He was the main character in that. I always think he looks like Joaquin Phoenix, but it's not Joaquin Phoenix. He's like a chubby Joaquin Phoenix. He was in the newest season of Fargo.
I haven't seen it.
He's amazing. I think he's honestly one of the best actors working today. I don't know what it is about him. Something about him I just love watching him.
You know, he was like obviously undeniably sweet, but
but
it's like one of those things where again,
I really liked his plotline. Maybe it's because, like I said, I came off watching Atomic Blonde recently, and that's all about like that sort of stuff.
Ilk.
Yeah,
yeah.
If you've seen Atomic Blonde, I apologise, I guess, because that's kind of a spoiler.
Unavoidable. Like we've just gone and seen a film. We can't be like, I loved what we've seen in the trailers. That was lovely.
But his whole story, I was really drawn to that. I think that was one of my favourite parts of the film.
I liked it.
I was shocked at how it ended.
I see. I'm really not, and I also didn't feel much for his character when it did.
I thought there was going to be a bit of a twist. I thought he was just going to kind of walk out of it. But
yeah, I don't know. It's not that I don't like him, because I think as an actor he was brilliant. I just feel like, you know, we were saying about if you were to cut his scenes out, they don't really leave much of the story. I can see what you mean, but at the same time I feel like you need him there purely because he emphasises that kind of other side to Michael Shannon's character in a weird way. Like, I feel like it's the yin and the yang of it. Yeah, and you know, if he didn't have
and they're literally opposing sides.
They are, and if they didn't have each other to bounce off, I think he'd be a far more evil character in a way that wouldn't fit. I think
it also broadens the story in the sense that you have this like thing happening which actually has massive implications on like these two sides, but what you're seeing is like a smaller story take place within that, and that it's kind of like those are your connections to the outside of it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
And of course you need them, because like it's all very well watching. Oh, it's so hard not to spoil it. It's all very well watching something like Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
And knowing what side someone's on.
Yeah.
This was a lot more ambiguous.
Yeah, see, Atomic Blonde.
I
don't know who's on what side.
I don't. I'm going from the fact that I saw Bill Skarsgård and was like,
He's good.
I like him. I can guess what side he's on.
A million or more times you went away and my heart went.
The music.
Yes.
What did you think about the music?
I
Because it kind of felt like a musical.
It did. It had that kind of vibe. That was very high pitched.
Oh! Oh!
No, I think that it was. You're right that it made it feel like a musical.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was entirely appropriate all the time.
I know what you mean, yeah. There were parts where I was kind of like...
And I sort of felt like, I don't know whether this is the same for a lot of people or just me, or if you'll agree. But to me, the relationship between Sally Hawkins and her neighbour was very much like the relationship with Amelie. And having the sort of like accordion, very sort of, to me, Parisian style and music together, with that, I was like, are you just trying to make sort of like a sort of slightly gothy Amelie? Like, is that...
A lot of this film gave me a Parisian vibe. Like, a lot of it felt like a kind of retro, like, French film.
It did.
A lot of it was vibe and story. Like, I could see that happening in France.
That's
I
what
could see
everyone's
that
like
happening in France in the 50s.
Did you not hear about the fishermen in France?
Don't make fun of me. That's not fair.
You had a
I
moment
believe
where I
you.
saw your eyes flicker and I was like...
No, like, I could see that film being made in France.
Yeah. And in that time as well. Like, I don't think that would be out of place.
100%. I think that's really interesting about it. Yeah, the music. I mean, especially that one scene. You know what scene I'm talking about, I assume. That big music scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
with you. I don't know, I sort of felt like with the music scene, that I understand why it was there.
Yeah, definitely.
I enjoyed it initially, but the fact that I couldn't remember it just now...
That's kind of crazy. Like, that was one of the main things I remembered. Again, like, I'm super into musicals, especially at the moment for some reason.
I'm
I
not...
don't know why.
February just got you good.
I'm just thinking about fucking Hunchback still, dude.
Oh, you would have loved our
Fire! Yeah, I really like the 50s music and like the vibe and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice. I thought it accompanied the film really well. It was talking about like kind of aesthetic-y stuff.
Yes.
I
loved.
really...
Sorry to interrupt.
That's right.
With like the mise en scène and like the general setting of everything, I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it seemed like somewhere you'd want to be, and you can understand how like her and her neighbour would go home there, and like how that would be a safe place, and they'd be like, okay, we need to fix this situation.
Yeah.
Let's go home.
100%. I really like the cinema, just because I like seeing cinemas. Also, really like the small detail where at the beginning of the film, when she's leaving her place, the cinema guy gives her 2 tickets for free and says like, "Oh, come and see the film," because basically no one's going to see our films.
Yeah.
And then later on, the monster
Pennywise
goes
into
Pennywise in the cinema. No, the monster goes into the
Skarsgård.
cinema and he just like walks in and stands there, and there's no one there. And I was like, oh, that makes sense because they set up earlier. There's no one's going to the cinema, and I thought that was cool.
Which it wouldn't have if they hadn't.
Yeah,
like that was a real.
I thought that was really clever. I was like, that was a cool little detail. I like it when they like seed things like that.
Yeah. Seed.
That's how I plant.
It's so delicate. Small at a time.
And precise.
You want your flowers like that far away. Ooh, look at that speed.
Do you think there's somebody? Do you think there's a person who gags when they come?
I hope not.
I
That would be awful.
thought you were going to say hope so. I do.
Yeah, it's me. No. That'd be so hot. Do you mean like properly? Like,
I just mean like
or just like
they're like going for it and then just
Is that you going for it?
wait. So it's like
I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is
I know this is the end of the
Please
so
say it.
talk about it. If you really want to know, you can lip read.
I wish we didn't find language. That's so offensive to everyone. Alex, no. Music.
The most pointless one. Okay.
Okay.
Gills.
It's like, well, you just turned into a dog.
Kind of gilled the movie for me.
Yeah, man.
No, I don't know how I feel. So at the end of the film, obviously, scratches that were on her neck, or scars, I guess, became gills because of the powers he had, I think.
Yes. But is she
Is she a fish person?
Is she a fish person?
Is she a fishy woman? She was thinking in the bath. Maybe that was something to do with it. Maybe she's so
That's not
into
an uncommon
water.
place for women to do that.
What? But all those long baths.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's all making sense.
The scars on her neck, I thought they were interesting, and I did pick up near the end. I was like, oh okay, they look like gills.
Yeah.
But then when they became gills, like,
Just by him going whoop.
well, you went kind of like to her head.
He did.
Yeah.
But also his powers aren't ever really explained.
I kind of like that because I feel like because none of the main characters other than Dr. Bob are scientists. Dr. Bob, we'll get
Good
to
old
him.
Dr.
We'll
Bob.
get to Dr. Bob. Other than
Yeah.
Dr. Bob, like none of the main characters are scientists.
No.
So like
And
I
they
like
could-
the fact that they never fully discover what he's capable of because that would kind of be redundant.
Yeah.
I feel like.
They sort of never fully, discover any personality in
Yeah,
him either.
no.
But that's not the point, really.
That's just bad writing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's not on Sally Hawkins. She's great.
Sally Hawkins is fantastic.
She is wonderful.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I felt about the Gills thing. The Gill thing, I like the fact he could like heal people and stuff. I thought that was really interesting because I find it funny that the whole plot at the beginning is that they want to kill this thing because he's essentially useless and stuff. Even the Russians don't want him. The Russians nor the Americans want to let this thing live.
Yeah.
And then it turns out this thing has like the power to fucking make people like not dead, I guess. Like he
Yeah.
can revive people and like heal them.
Like
Like
bullet
that's
wounds.
insane.
Yeah.
Like he would become like a superhero. So I like the fact that they never find that out, and if they did, because it would be
Yeah.
such a different film
Mm.
if they did. But kind of the
Yeah.
irony of it, I guess. Of,
Yeah.
Like they all think they don't want it, but actually
You know
they do.
I got a problem with is the fact that
I thought you were going to say something off topic. Like, no, I have a problem with bike lanes.
yeah, it's such a problem.
What?
Um,
Carry on. Sorry, I don't know why you thought you were going to go with that.
I talk quite convincingly. We both do the same thing where we talk a lot of bollocks. What I don't like in that, not the bike legs,
Okay.
but that also no,
They suck.
they're the worst. But no, I don't like the fact
Choose
that
the road.
Use
Use the road.
and the people with bike legs wouldn't be allowed on the pavement.
That's the point.
Did you say bike legs?
Bike lanes. You know what's a problem? Bike legs.
I genuinely was like, okay, this is a little bit odd, but I'm into whimsy.
Hey.
So.
First rule of improv: yes and. I want to
Yeah.
talk about Dr. Bob,
You love Dr. Bob.
aka Dimitri.
Dimitri's a great name.
Dimitri's a great
He's
name.
a great guy.
He was a cool character. I really liked his whole spy thing going on. So he's a spy, and he's oh, I thought like the camera went janky then, sorry. I think it was just my vision. Because I froze and I thought the camera froze, but I realised it was me stopping and that it was blurry because of my eyes.
You just have like a small aneurysm.
Oh.
You're like, I'm back now.
Cool back. Come back.
You were talking about Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob, aka Dimitri. So Dr. Bob is a Russian spy, the Twisters, and he wants to. He personally, which I liked, wants Billy Bob the fish, the creature.
Billy Bob.
He wants the creature Billy Bob the fish to live, but the American government doesn't want it to live. They want to kill it, so the Russians can't have it, and the Russians want to kill it because they don't want the Americans to have it. So it's kind of like a fucking stupid system, but I guess that's kind of the joke of it.
Yeah.
Which again, kind of Coen Brothers-y. Like that whole, like, I don't know, just the
Like,
irony of situations and stuff like that, and
It's
how
like
dumb
what they
everyone
want
is.
they,
Yeah.
But not in a romantic way, no.
yeah,
Killing
no.
the fish guy.
Yeah.
Way.
That's kind of romantic.
Well, there was romance in it.
There was romance in the film. But Dr. Bob as Dimitri, kind of like, he's worked for the Russians, but he has his own personal thing where he wants his fish to live. and when he sees that they're trying to get him out, he helps. And I like the way he helped. I get what you mean, where you could take him out and it could still work.
Oh yeah.
But I personally was like super into his spy game stuff. The bit where he holds the knife in the room with the two Russians.
I liked that.
That was intense. And that's kind of why at the end, when they killed him, the two Russians killed him, I really thought he had like a backup plan because of the way the fact he held the knife earlier. I was like, he doesn't trust them.
I thought maybe there was something in the cake.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
But then I realised after the scene, I was like, oh no, he just picked up the knife and set up his sleeve.
So with Dr. Bob.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to tell.
No, yeah, that was fucked up. I forgot that he told.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was like trying to like be like, haha, you think you can get me with this pain shit.
And
but he doesn't, he fucking just gives him up.
He just tells
Yeah, I had a problem with that when that happened. I remember.
I was like, mate, you're dying.
Just fucking die.
Just die. Yeah, like Michael Shannon has dragged Dr. Bob by his bullet.
Oh, by the way, fuck that scene. That like there was a few bits of grotesqueness in this movie.
There were.
Like
I kind of liked them.
The finger tearing off didn't gross me out a ton. I thought it was gonna be worse. But the bit where he's in the car and he first looks at his fingers and then he does that and like the pus comes out.
That I could not do.
Fuck that. The cheek thing got me. And something else. What else happened in it?
Ooh, like a gross moment.
Maybe I'm just misremembering. I thought there was something else gross that happened, but I don't think there was. I think it was just the cheek thing.
Well, there
and
was
the
when
fingers.
his fingers got cut off initially.
Nah, that didn't freak me out because I was like, I think I saw that in the trailer as well, so
Yeah.
it was like, old news.
Yeah, you're over it. That's fine.
Whatever.
But like at that point, Dr. Bob's been dragged across the ground with his like.
That was fucked up.
hole. So like at that point, there's a certain amount of pain. I would imagine your brain just shuts off.
That's kind of the
Seems
weird
so
tonality of the film, I feel like, because you go from like the fact we said it's kind of a light-hearted story in a weird way, but then you have all this dark stuff surrounding it, and I guess that's maybe what it's about.
Yeah.
Is you have this really like kind of touching, lovely, supposed to be, story in the middle of it, and then surrounding it is just all this horrible dark stuff, but I guess like, I don't know, maybe that's like the message of the film, I don't know.
Maybe.
How you put it.
I mean, it's quite honest to how like life is.
Yeah, no, that's where, okay, I wanted to talk about the ending, because I wanted to talk about the fact that I kind of wish the ending was that both of them got killed. When they were lying dead,
really
I
wish
kind
they
of thought that was it, and I thought Michael Shannon won, and I kind of liked that in a fucked up way.
Yeah, or if Fishy Boy, Billy Bob,
Billy Bob Fish Boy.
Billy Bob Fish Boy, if he were to live and to look at Sally Hawkins and be like, you know what, nah, and just to leave her, because they've been saying all throughout it, they can't decide whether he's an animal or whether he's like this loving creature.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That could have been cool.
And like that would have been like, okay, well, she did the right thing in freeing him because he didn't deserve to be tortured, because nothing does. But at the end of the day, he was a wild animal and they shouldn't have trusted him.
Yeah.
Because like earlier in the film, her loving neighbour gets scratched by him. He says, don't worry, he's an animal. We should treat him like an animal. And then Sally Hawkins goes and fucks him in the shower, and it's like,
he's an animal. And she's like, okay, cool. I get
she's
the go
like,
ahead.
I love that.
I get the go ahead.
That I don't think they made him sentient enough.
No.
And I think you're right about like
that's what weakens the film.
Yeah, he's not likeable particularly.
He's not a character. He is kind of just an object of her affection, which, like we were saying earlier, they kind of switched it, but not for the better thing.
No,
it's not like they made a good female character and a great male character to like as a counterpart or whatever. They kind of just made a really weak male protagonist, I guess, if you could even call him that. He's more of like a MacGuffin.
He really
he doesn't really have a character or an arc or anything. I feel like that's maybe the worst part of the film. Like the rest of it's great, and I feel like it's executed really well, pacing's really great, but that kind of drops it.
Yeah, I feel like it was a mistake to make him so human.
Yeah.
And I know he was so human for the purposes of them like having a relationship. But wouldn't it be far more interesting if he were to be less human and she still loved him like physically?
Yeah.
Which would still be a little wrong, but it's wrong anyway.
You'd be like, chill.
You can kind of respect that more.
Yeah, I would have felt like that would have been a bit more honest.
Because she's like, oh, I'm different, he understands the difference.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he isn't actually physically that different to you. He has all the same features.
Yeah.
He's just a fish guy, you know?
He's just a little fish boy.
A little fishy boy.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, I wasn't a huge fan of the very young Michael Shannon. Because I feel like when Michael Shannon gets killed, right? And he's like, oh shoot, you are a god, or whatever he says. Didn't really care for that bit. I mean, it didn't like upset me or anything, but I was just kind of like,
and also, he doesn't have to be a god.
I just wanted him to like, he kills them, and good, because like I feel if anyone deserves to kill him, it's him after all the shit he put him through.
Yeah.
And like he says at the beginning, which I thought was really interesting, is like me and this guy have had like a long history together with all this stuff where he's like been tracking him down and he
Yeah.
hunted him and stuff. But when he kills him,
Mm.
I felt it was a bit too like just quick and happened.
Yeah, it
There's no
happened.
considering how graphic the film gets, that bit was really not
Oh,
graphic,
yeah,
and I
and-
felt like it could have been, it should have been.
And he has all of the graphic moments, really.
Yeah.
Like, surely, at least in death, he should have like this one final moment of like
I mean,
gross.
yeah, I don't know, but then I guess also you could say like, oh, that's the point, is that Michael Shannon's more of the monster where he does all the fucked up shit, and like whereas
Yeah.
he like he takes life and then gives life.
But then, with the monster being kind of inconsequential, you want Michael Shannon to be more.
You want
consequential.
righteousness.
Yeah, you want like a moment.
Yeah.
A moment, because all of it, I think you're really right that you hit the nail on the head about Sally Hawkins' character. It's just projecting.
She does. She just
The
kind
whole
of
time.
uses them, and then like she just has a kind of sad existence, and then at the end he takes her to the ocean where who knows what happens.
Yeah.
It's
And her,
weird.
yeah, and her lovely name was like, I like to think they fell in love, and it's like, he's a fish.
And he's a fish. That should be.
He is a fish.
That would be the last. That's it.
Yeah.
That's our roundup of the
Cut.
film. It was a lovely ending, but he's a fish.
He
Okay.
is a fish.
Well, I don't know what the next thing we'll talk about is. I don't know if we're going to try and do more films where it's like coming out, or if we're going to watch DVDs, or what.
I mean, I would like to watch Atomic Blonde.
You mean Atomic Blonde that's sat right in front of us now? You
Yeah.
can get it on Blu-ray in HMV whenever you. That's not going to focus, is
It's
it?
not,
Whenever
yeah.
you want.
You
I'm
were
also
too in
talking
frame.
really into the mic. And then come back next week when we'll review Chachi 420.
I would fucking love to watch that.
We should definitely sit and watch
It
this
would be
movie at
so
some
good.
point.